It started with something so subtle, I nearly dismissed it. A faint, unfamiliar scent clung to the fabric of her blouse, not the warm, floral perfume I'd known for years, but something sharper, distinctly masculine. It lingered in the air as she walked past me that evening, and though I noticed, I said nothing. After all, Emily and I had been together for a decade, our lives stitched together with trust and quiet routines. I had no reason to question her. Not yet. That night over dinner, however, something shifted. Her smile felt mechanical, her laughter to light, to rehearsed. Her eyes, once so easily readable, seemed distant. She was sitting across from me, eating the same meal we'd shared countless times. But something in her presence was off, as if her body was there, but her thoughts were far from the table. Late night at work again? I asked, keeping my tone easy, casual. She nodded too quickly. Yeah, the team's swamped with this new campaign. You know how it is. But I didn't, not really. Emily's job in marketing had its busy seasons, sure, but the sudden wave of late evenings and weekend strategy sessions didn't match the cadence I'd come to know. I let it go, not wanting to seem suspicious or possessive, but doubt, once planted, is like a slow-growing rot, quiet at first, then consuming. The signs began multiplying. A new perfume she never wore at home. Her phone always tilted away from me. The sudden obsession with her appearance, the extra time getting ready. The new lingerie tags I found stuffed in the trash. Things she didn't think I'd notice. I tried to push the thoughts aside, tried to believe in the woman I had once known so completely. But the unease gnawed at me. One night, while she was in the shower, I gave in. I picked up her phone. My hands trembled as I scrolled through her messages, praying to find nothing, praying I was just overthinking. Most of it was mundane work group chats, calendar reminders, but then one name appeared repeatedly. Mark. At first, the messages were subtle, harmless on the surface, but then I saw it. A text that shattered whatever illusions I had left. Can't stop thinking about last night. My stomach dropped. My vision blurred for a moment, blood rushing to my ears. I set the phone down exactly where I'd found it and sat in silence, the walls of our home closing in around me like a stranger's house. I didn't confront her that night. I needed more than suspicion. I needed truth, laid bare and undeniable. A few nights later, she claimed another late meeting. I waited a full 10 minutes after she left before grabbing my keys and following. My heart pounded with every turn she took, my headlights trailing hers from a careful distance. But she didn't head downtown toward the office. Instead, she drove to a small bar on the edge of town, the kind with flickering neon signs and dusty windows. I parked across the street and watched through the glass as she slid into a booth with him, Mark. He was tall, casually handsome, his posture too relaxed for a man sneaking around with someone else's partner. She laughed, really laughed, the way she hadn't in months, and placed her hand on his arm. His lips brushed her cheek, and I sat there, frozen, watching a version of Emily I didn't recognize. I didn't storm in. I didn't cause a scene. I simply raised my phone and took the photos, not for revenge, not yet, but to remind myself I wasn't imagining any of this. The next morning, she sat across from me at breakfast, a soft smile on her lips, telling me about some pitch meeting that had supposedly gone well. That's great, I murmured, buttering my toast. We should celebrate this weekend. Just the two of us. She blinked, startled by the suggestion, then forced a smile. Yeah, I'd like that. She must have thought she still had me fooled. In the days leading up to the weekend, I set everything in motion. One evening, while she was out, I went to her office. It wasn't difficult to get inside. A smile and a well-crafted lie to the front desk about picking up something she forgot did the trick. Her desk looked normal, but a locked drawer caught my eye. A cheap lock, easy enough to pop open with a PAPERCLIP. Inside was everything I had expected, but the sight still felt like a punch to the chest. Handwritten notes in a man's messy scrawl, full of affection and intimacy, receipts from dinners she'd claimed were client meetings, and a small velvet box holding a delicate bracelet engraved with "Forever Yours." I shut the drawer, relocked it, and left the building with fire in my chest and ice in my veins. Saturday arrived. I played my part perfectly, cooked her favorite dinner, lit candles, set the table just right. She looked surprised when she walked in. maybe even a little uneasy. There was something fragile in her eyes, a sliver of guilt she couldn't quite hide. After dinner, I handed her a small gift box. "I have something for you," I said softly. She opened it slowly, expecting something romantic. Instead, her eyes met the cold gleam of a single key. Her face went pale. What is this?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "You already know," I said, my tone calm, almost gentle. "I've seen everything. The notes, the bracelet, the dinners. How long has it been, Emily?" She opened her mouth, tried to spin a lie, but the words collapsed before they left her throat. Her eyes filled with tears, and her body crumpled as she dropped to her knees. "It didn't mean anything," she cried. "I was lonely. You've been so busy with work, and so have you," I snapped, my voice suddenly sharp. "Do you have any idea how hard I've been working to give us this life, and you repay me with this?" She reached for my hand, pleading, "Please, I'll do anything. Just don't leave me." But I felt nothing. No anger, no love. Just a vast, clean emptiness. Double quotes. "No, Emily, you already made your decision." Over the next few weeks, I dismantled the life she had taken for granted. I filed for divorce, citing her infidelity. I didn't raise my voice or launch into accusations. I simply showed her family and close friends the truth. Her parents, who had always welcomed me like a son, were devastated and offered quiet, unwavering support. At work, the fallout was swift and brutal. Mark, as it turned out, was married to. His wife discovered the affair and reported both of them. By the end of the week, their careers were in shambles. Their reputations crumbled under the weight of scandal and betrayal. One evening, as I boxed up the last of her belongings, she came to the house. She looked like a shadow of herself, drained, hollow-eyed, broken. "I've lost everything," she whispered, standing in the doorway. "I just need one more chance." I looked at her for a long moment, the woman I had once loved with every part of me, and all I felt was pity. "You made your choices," I said quietly. "Now live with them." She didn't argue. She just turned and walked away, shoulders hunched like someone carrying the weight of everything she'd destroyed. And for the first time in weeks, I felt peace. The wound was still there. Yes, but it was no longer open. The betrayal still stung, but it was no longer mine to carry. Life went on. So did I.